And she continues to become more badass. So I talked about in the it took like a chapter and a half for Kugisaki to become like a better female lead than most of Weekly Shonen Jump's like female lead characters. Like she was just being a complete and total savage last chapter, and she was managed to finish out the fight very interestingly, and just all around again pushed herself into being more of a badass. So where it was obviously where the last chapter ended, she used her hairpin and pretty much blew out part of Ketchizu's head. And Esso is just sad. You know, he just watched his brother die, and he starts to cry. And it's actually the thing that made Yuji hesitate, and he stopped like moving forward to attack, which I thought was really interesting for Yuji's character because we see that he can be kind of ruthless in his fights, the way that he, you know, will just keep relentlessly like pounding his opponents down and you know, keep just on the offensive. But that kind of display of legit emotions, like it just triggers his sympathy, and that's one of the things I think is really cool about him. That he still has that very human aspect. He still wants to help, but he knows he can't, and just that like moment of hesitation really kind of opened and screwed him. That was really very interesting. And there was a moment in this chapter that I thought was hope that was kind of hope for these characters because I like the fact that they're brothers and they very much so have this very real kind of relationship, this very like loving, caring, brotherly bond. And it's not just that they're bad guys that are brothers. It's like okay, they actually, you know, because we talked about how they only joined up on Mahito's team because you know they believe that you know getting Sukunom out and making a world for cursed spirits that was just the best option for them. They're not really for the idea itself. They just think you know this is the best we could probably do. But as as they're going to fight, there's like a notice that the body isn't disappearing from Kechizu, and that but Kugisaki just notices that okay, this thing is made of flesh and blood. This isn't just a cursed spirit because these are like the hybrid versions. These are both, you know, they're cursed spirit and human bodies. And the thing I was very curious about is because they were made that way by putting some of the cursed painted wounds inside of people. So I'm wondering if you know if his core is still there, that like little piece, and could he come back to life as long as somebody got that and put it inside of another human? And the same thing, unfortunately, with Esso because like well, they're not paying attention. You know, they're fighting on a road, so this car just comes in by, almost hits them. They're pissed off. They're just kind of like yelling at you know some people to get out of the way, but unfortunately, they came across the worst possible area they could in their city. And Esso just jumps on the back of the truck, grabs one of the dudes, and he's just like, "You step on the brakes, and I'm gonna kill you and your friend." You know, he's just doing a really like quick, very fast, kind of like hostage escape. And in that moment, he's not thinking entirely about like I screwed up, screw these guys. It was more about like he's upset that he can't mourn his brother and his brother is now dead. Again, I'm wondering if the whole because it's a the holy core because it's a special grade, so it should still be functional. I don't know. I'm very curious about that. I wonder if we'll find anything about that soon. But he's like, all right, when I get healed up, I'm gonna come back and get revenge and kill them. And while he's doing that, you just see Kugisaki, you know, completely like cocked up, ready, and he's just and Esso's just like, what is she doing? And he's unfortunately not putting the pieces together of the fact that she's like all based around like voodoo and shit. And she's got his arm that got blown off. She's got her straw doll up, and she just drives a nail right into it, right through his chest and seemingly through his heart. And that's when Yuji comes up, goes and punches a hole in his chest. And there's a really very quiet, subtle moment in that, like the smallest panel in that page, of where you know Yuji's got his fist and he's got kind of like the energy coming off it, and he's looking at it, and you could tell that kind of like look on his face, that like dulled eye. He he doesn't really like doing what he did, but he knew it was necessary because he saw like he saw Esso's reaction to his brother dying, and you know that Yuji was able to really kind of get like a human feel off him from that, which I thought was a very nice kind of like piece on both SO and Yuji, and it just kind of like opened up a little bit more of both their characters. But then we get to the villains. We get back to all them. We get Geto. We get Choso and Mahito, all ending in O, and they're playing Life. I'm so confused. These villains in the series are so weird because like they're always like staged up as like in these like very non like vicious kind of like ways. Like their HQ meeting places on lawn chairs on like on the beach, like just hanging out in the sun. And now they're just playing Life. They're just chilling, and you get this really cool panel of Mahito, and it's just his face when Choso was just like, "Yeah, my brothers are dead." It was it's actually really interesting the fact that he knows, but he doesn't have like an emotional change like in his face, but you could tell just that like aggression. And he breaks one of the cars in Life, and Mahito just like pissed off. He was really upset. He broke one of the pieces, and like he's like looking through a bag to see if he can find any more. And that's when they find out that they were killed by Yuji and Kugisaki from the Jutsu High first years, and his expression kind of goes like into this really like weird warped smile. So I'm wondering what exactly does Mahito have in mind, because I feel like there is something in his strategy that makes him think, oh, this is beneficial for him, not just like, oh, that's interesting. They're getting stronger. I feel like that there's some aspect to it that he's got a plan going on, because he seems very cunning. He's very vicious, and all around Mahito. Mahito, I think legitimately is the heart of this series at this point. So anytime that he has like a weird look on his face, I get worried. But other than that, tell me in the comment section below. I'm noticing Jujutsu Kaisen is starting to pick up a little bit, outside of Japan. It makes me wish that I started titling these videos in Japanese, so maybe the Japanese will come check it out, because I really like Jujutsu Kaisen. And I want more people to get into it, start checking it out, because it's a lot of fun. Other than that, really appreciate the thumbs up the video, from the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.